Hello everybody, this is Senor Kinoto, and I'm here with another episode of Pokemon Strategy. And allergies, but yeah. Anyways, alright. Well, today we're going to be talking about Heliolisk, because Heliolisk is a monster. I mean, he's literally a monster. I mean, how can you not call this weird lizard thing with these awesome frills a monster? He's a monster. I mean, anyways. Okay. Yeah, so basically, after my last video, which was on Ninjask, as you guys probably know if you watched it, I noticed that it was kind of unoriginal. It was a really old strategy, I know. I was mostly just doing it to test run and see if I could actually do this kind of thing, which I can, sort of, I guess. But anyways, also, I had a comment saying that the layout didn't look very professional. I use Windows Movie Maker. There's not too much else I can do. If somebody knows how to do something better, if you want to send me a comment or a message or something, that would be great. So just give me suggestions about that, okay? That would be great. Alright, let's get this started. Alright. So Heliolisk is very adaptable. Heliolisk, I mean, recently I got myself a Heliolisk to use because I'm like, Heliolisk, he's cool, he looks cool, I'll use him. And then after making one specific set of my own, just kind of a basic set, I realized how adaptable this guy is. Like, you can do so much with him. You can make him a choice scarf, choice set. You can put him with a sun team, sand team, rain team. This guy is like a weather specialist also, which I like weather teams. So this guy's a weather specialist best friend. He can work on any team. And he's not like Cast Form, who doesn't have the best stats. But this guy's got good stats. He's got a really good special attack and speed, and his special defense is not half bad either. His other stats are all fairly low. Here, I'll just go ahead and read him off. He's got an HP of 62, attack of 55, defense of 52. Special attack and speed are 109, and special defense are 94. Special defense is 94. That was a grammar fail there. And then his abilities are Sand Veil, Solar Power, and Dry Skin. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and do some overview discussion of this. First of all, he's resistant to Ghost type, which is pretty nice for an electric type. I mean, it adds on the weakness to fighting, but that's not too much of a price, if you ask me. Because there are some pretty annoying Ghost types. So, yeah, I'm good with that. And also, if you have the Dry Skin ability, you're resistant to water attacks as well. So he's completely resistant to two types. So that's already pretty good. That's pretty awesome, in my opinion. Yeah, and like I said about his abilities, they're all meant to go with weather. I mean, solar power boosts attack power, boost power moves in the sun. Dry skin, you get HP from the rain, and you also can't be hurt by water moves. And Sand Veil raises your evasion in a sandstorm. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this now, just in case anybody asks later. I will be going over Sand Veil sets. I know Smogon is banned it, but I'm going to go ahead and go over some sets for it anyways. Alright? Alright. Let's start. I'm just going to start with a very basic set. This is just a set you can run. Like, it's just a solid set. Works best with rain teams. So basically what you do, he needs to have the ability Dry Skin, because, it's if you're not running it for like a sand or sun team, if you're just running it for a basic team, or if you're running it for a rain team, Dry Skin. Dry Skin's the best way to go. Or actually for a rain team you can run a solar power, but I'll get into that later. Anyways, so for this set you use Dry Skin, and for EVs you just want to max out speed and special attack and 4 in HP. Just basic special sweeper layout. Give him a timid nature because this guy needs to be like a speedy demon. You could also give him the modest nature. I personally like speed on Heliolisk, but that's just me since he doesn't have the best defenses. Except his special defense. His special defense is good. Okay. For moves on this set, either your Thunder or Parabolic Charge for your main attacking move. Then Thunder Wave, Volt Switch, and Surf. And the item is Focus Sash. And yes, now I will discuss some things about the set. The reason that you can pick Thunder or Parabolic Charge is some people like Parabolic Charge because it restores HP, and it's much more accurate than Thunder, unless you're in a rain team. If you're running this specific set in a rain team, Thunder all the way. I mean, Thunder's better. But if you're not, it may be better to use Parabolic Charge just because you get more solid hits, and you can also get some HP back from it, which is nice. The Focus Sash for this specific set is so that you can at least get one Thunder Wave off, and then you can Volt Switch out. So that's always nice. So with this set, you can either use it to set up Thunder Waves, or if you've already got the Rain set up and you think that a Thunder is going to kill, or Surf, since you'll be in the rain, you can either Surf or Thunder these things, and you can just kill them. I mean, just sweep. Special sweep. Like a special sweeper does. Surf can be replaced with Grass Knot or Dark Pulse, but since you're most likely going to be running the Heliolisk in some sort of weather team, and since this set is more geared towards rain, probably just Surf to get the rain boost. So, yeah. Now then, let's move on to our next set. Alright. This set is based around Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. There is a little bit of difference between the two. There's not actually that much, but I'll go over that in a minute. Alright, so basically EVs, it's just the same as last time, 252 in speed and special attack, and then 4 in HP. It's basically mostly for Heliolisk, except one specific way that you can turn him into a special defensive wall. I'll discuss that later on. Maybe not in this video, because I'm planning on doing multiple videos on this guy already. I'll just go ahead and say that. Because like I said, he's extremely adaptable. There's so much you can do with him. Alright, so the idea behind Choice Specs is that you give him a timid nature so that he's super fast, and then the specs boost his special attack. If you're going to do Choice Scarf, you can give him modest nature, because since you're getting that big speed boost from the Choice Scarf, you can just give him more special attack so that he can go special sweep with Choice Scarf. Alright. Now the moves, you really have a lot of variety you can pick from here, honestly. It's just, there's a lot of moves he can learn for special sweeping. I mean, obviously you're going to want to just be sweeping on this with these choice items, because there's not much else you can do. You can't use Thunder Wave or Electric Terrain or anything like that to try and set up sort of on them. So basically just pick from this set of moves. You can pick from HP Ice, Focus Blast, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Grass Knot, Surf, and Dark Pulse. Just all fairly solid special attacking moves, except for Thunder you may not want to because of its inaccuracy, unless you're putting this thing on a rain team. If you're putting this thing on a rain team, of course, go for it. Just do it. I mean, go for it. It's definitely a good idea if you're running a rain team, because then you've got solid accuracy with a really powerful move. That's also stab, and if you got choice specs, that thing's going to be very, very it's going to hurt. And with this ability, like I said, if you're going to run just a generic set like this, just choice scarf, choice specs, just a generic set, dry skin is a good way to go, because just resistance to water is always nice. Yeah. The only thing I personally don't like about this specific choice set is that since a lot about Heliolisk, at least in my opinion, is that he's a very versatile Pokemon, and you can surprise your opponents by doing all sorts of things with him, is that since it's a choice item, it locks him in, which kind of reduces that versatility. I mean, if you use rain support with it, like have somebody set up a rain dance or drizzle beforehand, then yeah, he's still pretty versatile, because then you can run Thunder, and Volt Switch is definitely good on the choice set, because you can switch out and then switch back in a turn or two, just to do it, and then you can use some other move. And it's also pretty good to run Surf on this set, just in case they have a ground type. So Volt Switch and Surf are probably going to be what you want definitely on this, and then you just kind of pick from the other moves in his move pool. Alright. Now I'm going to be going over 2 more sets. This video is already running kind of long. I'm definitely going to split this guy up into multiple videos, at least 2, maybe 3. Yeah, let's start. This next one, it's kind of weird, I'll admit that. It's a little creation of my own. I haven't seen anything quite like it. I may just have not seen it anywhere before, but I thought it was pretty original. So, it's basically a setup set. Kind of weird, I know, because since he doesn't have very good defenses, especially when it comes to physical, you'd be like, okay, how could you set up with this guy? Well, basically what you have to do is you have to catch them in either a special attacker, just somebody who's not going to be able to hit him because that's not going to be able to hit him very hard, either because they're mostly water type and dry skin would resist it all, or that they're just not very hard hitters, that they're supposed to be some sort of wall or staller. And basically, you can use either dry skin or sand veil on the set, just depending on what type of weather you're running, if any at all. If you're not running any weather, of course, go with dry skin. You want to make this guy timid. You need to outspeed with this guy. You have to outspeed or you're in trouble. So, you definitely want to make him timid. You're also going to max out speed. And then there's a little bit of option here. If you want to go full-on setup sweep, then you could just go ahead and max out special attack for IVs and HP, just like it has been with all the other sets. Or you could take advantage of that 94 base stat of special defense, which is not half bad, and you could put 128 in both special attack and speed, because of course you want to give him at least decent special attack. He's got really good special attack. He's a special sweeper. Of course you want to do that. So just kind of split it up in between that and special defense. Make him a little specially bulky. I mean, just something original. I mean, this set is pretty original in my opinion. I may not actually be that good. I've tested it out a little bit. It seems to work okay. So, yeah, I'll go on into the moves now before I get too in-depth with the strategy of it, because then you're not understanding. You're like, hey, Senor Kinoto, what are you talking about? I don't know what this thing even does. Alright, so like I said before, you want to catch them with somebody who can't hit you very hard. And then your moves are Substitute, Charge Beam, Electric Terrain, and then there's another optional move there. It's kind of strange. I'll go over that in a minute. Basically, with this set, what you want to do, you want to catch him in somebody who's weak, can't hit you very hard. I've said that 3 times already. I'm sorry. I'm being repetitive. Alright. Once you set up your substitute, because they're not going to be able to knock out your sub in one turn, then start spamming Charge Beam. Or you can set up the Electric Terrain first, which is probably better. So actually, set up the Electric Terrain first. Boost that electric power. Make it stab plus Electric Terrain. That's going to hit hard. Then, after that, start spamming Charge Beam. Sorry, I jumped the gun with the spamming Charge Beam earlier. That's going to raise your special attack. That's going to be monstrous, especially since he's already got a pretty good special attack. And it's an Electric Terrain. That's going to, once you get to +1 or 2, or just +1, or if you get to +2 or 3, that'll be next to unstoppable, especially if you run your 4th move as Thunderbolt. But like I said, I'll get into that in a minute. So that special attack's going to be pretty deadly. And if you just keep setting up a sub, then you can make that thing live for a while. Especially because with this set, you want to run the leftovers item. So that after you use the sub, you're just like, heal. And after a few turns, you heal that all back up. And then if they break your sub, substitute again. If they try and swap into a ground type, here's where the 4th move comes in. Alright. The 4th move. The 4th move is very, very hard to choose in this opinion. If you want to make it full-on setup, actually, Mud Slap is an option there. This is a really weird idea, but hear me out. Mud Slap, because if they try and throw in somebody who's going to be able to hit you hard, after you set up your sub, if you think that they're going to switch in somebody like that, You can use Mud Slap and lower their accuracy so that you can get more charge beams off and then possibly kill them before they can kill you. Like I said, I'm not really sure about that one. Mud Slap, I know, but it's just an idea. You can also run Eerie Impulse, because like I said, if you make him a little special defensive bulky, and then use Eerie Impulse on him, and it's a special sweeper, they're not going to be able to touch you at all. I mean, -2, and you got a little bit of special bulk? No, it's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to kill you for a while, especially if you have a sub up. And then you can also run Parabolic Charge, just because with the Electric Terrain boost, and the Charge Beam special attack boost, and the Stab, it's actually going to be decently powerful then. It's not going to have that low base power weakness at that point. The only thing about running Parabolic Charge, or Eerie Impulse for that matter, is that ground types are going to completely shut you down, which is why you can also run Surf for that 4th move, because you need to get rid of ground types. Another thing about Parabolic Charge, I forgot to mention a minute ago, is that it gets you a bunch of HP back. So after you use a sub, if you've already gotten a Charge Beam or 2 up and you've got your Electric Terrain, you're just like, Parabolic Charge! And then it's just like, all the HP, come back to me. And then you're at full HP again. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's basically it for the setup set. I mean, that's kind of weird, I know. I don't know. I thought it might be a good idea. I've tested it out a little bit. So, yeah. Okay, I'll move on to the last set now. Wow, this is running fairly long. I didn't mean for it to take this long, but I just really like Heliolisk. Alright, the last set. This set is specifically for doubles, with a Volt Absorb Lantern. You may have heard of this combo before. I don't think it's that unusual. People have probably tried it before. It just works well together. So, here, you get your Heliolisk with Dry Skin, and your EVs are the same as previous, just speed and special attack, and 4 in HP. And then Timid, to make him faster than everything else on the field, hopefully. Oh, I got a hiccup there. Alright. Your item here can be a Focus Sash or a Life Orb. Give me a minute to explain the Life Orb in a second. So, then his moves will be Thunder, Parabolic Charge, Surf, and then Rain Dance or Volt Switch. You can really want to run one or the other. Now, the idea behind this is you put him with that Volt Absorb Lantern. You say, hey, Heliolisk, use Parabolic Charge. Boom, hits everybody on the field and gets all the HP. Except that it doesn't actually hurt Lantern. It gives him HP back because of his Volt Absorb. So it's just like, wow, you just healed both your Pokemon. Boom. And then you have Lantern use Surf. That Heliolisk is not going to die for a while, especially if you have multiple Pokemon with Surf on your team. That Heliolisk isn't going down anytime soon if you are able to hold them off. Now, as for the Life Orb, since Focus Sash is slightly less useful in doubles because they can double attack you and then they break the sash and then they kill you, yeah, that's one reason it's not very good. There's a little bit of other stuff behind that too, but Life Orb may be more useful here because even though Life Orb has that recoil damage that's not very nice, if you have this guy in rain support, and since he's going to outspeed Lantern most likely, you're gonna use the Parabolic Charge. You're gonna heal up basically almost all your HP at that point. And then you're gonna take that little bit of Life Orb recoil. But then the Lantern's gonna use Surf. You're gonna be healed. If that doesn't heal you all the way back up, you're gonna get another chunk of health back from Rain. So Life Orb's probably better on this set, in my opinion. But that's just me. There's probably a different item I'm not thinking of that might be better. I mean, Choice Scarf could work for this, too. Just use Choice Scarf, Parabolic Charge, Parabolic Charge, Parabolic Charge. You're going to outspeed everything. So that's one thing. But then if you run a choice item, like I said, it limits his versatility. And if you lock him into an electric type move, it's a huge problem with ground types. Oh, my computer just tried to shut itself off. Alright. Well, that's really it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was a fairly long Pokemon strategy video. I will try to not make them this long again because this is a bit tedious, I know, to listen all the way through. It's going to be tedious for me to listen all the way through this to do editing and such. So, yeah, like I said, Heliolisk is just a cool Pokemon in my opinion. So, yeah. This is Senor Kinoto signing off. I will see you next time.